Welcome. In the first show of Africa Talks Tech, we talked a little bit about what we were going to do and what we were going to share. In today's episode, I'm very pleased to say that we've got an esteemed guest. He's called Mr. Jide, and the topic is African technology and wisdom through the eyes of a policymaker. Without much of ado, let's hear a little bit more from Mr. Jide.
So welcome to our very first real episode of the Africa Talk Tech with myself, Kazeem, Adegboyega, and Samuel. Samuel, a quick introduction of yourself, Samuel.
Yes, so I'm Samuel Erskine. Most people know me as Sam Erskine. I'm based out in the UK, but my roots are from Ghana. So I grew up on jollof fufu, not quite Eba, right? So I still have some abroad, but I work in technology. I'm head of cloud engagements for a large organization. However, I'm passionate about sharing with the public, and I think there's been a treasure that we've all been missing, which is what's happening in Africa today with tech. So I'm really looking forward to today's episode, which we've happily titled Through the Eyes of a Policymaker. So I guess we need to prepare our guests. I'm so excited about this today.
Yes, Samuel, very much so, Samuel. So again, my name is Kazeem Adegboyega. So I'm based in Nigeria. Unlike Samuel, that is from Ghana. Although, Samuel, would you say that, you're an African man yourself now? Are you still an African, Samuel?
You can take the African out of Africa, but you can never take the African out of the African.
Okay, so just like Samuel rightly mentioned, today we're going to be looking at the very important topic, talking tech in Africa today, through the eye of a policy influencer. And on today's episode, we've got Mr. Jide Awe on the show today. Mr. Jide Awe needs no introduction from many Nigerians here, and I guess a lot of other African folks as well. So we're going to start with this, Mr. Jide. You're very much welcome on the show, Mr. Jide.
Yeah, thank you, Kazeem. Thank you, Samuel.
Okay, sir. So let's start with you introducing yourself. Let people know who you are and your current job role at the moment, sir.
Okay, my name is Jide Awe. I'm an entrepreneur, like you mentioned. I'm also a policy formulation specialist. I deal in policy development consulting in the technology field. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have a background of working in fintech and telecoms. That's what I do now is basically policy consulting in technology.
Excellent. And it's really great to sort of like meet you. We hoping that in this session, we're going to learn a whole lot more from you, but we want to keep it very simple, all practical, because simple means different things to different people. So to begin with, Mr. Jide, we just wanted to say, how would you describe technology in Africa today? Because we've been telling people that things have moved on, but we wouldn't do it any justice unless we talk to someone like yourself that's living it, breathing it.
Yeah. Well, one advantage that I have is that I've been around for some time, so I know that there has been some development. Maybe Kazeem may not have been around as long as I have, but I remember when I was doing my first website at a cyber cafe. The internet access was so poor, I had to be going to cyber cafes to develop my website. So, but we've passed that stage long time ago. So technology has really gone far in Nigeria, in Africa. And right now, I think that we are exposed much more than before because we have better technology access. We also have greater awareness because the internet and education really opened a lot of eyes and improved access. And we have the talent, we have the potential. So it was just a matter of time before the tech scene started to grow in Nigeria. So it's in Africa, in Nigeria. So and the tech scene in Africa is quite wide. You have like the former tech scenes; those are the traditional organizations. Some of them are locally based, locally grown. Then you also have the startups, and then you also have they are not really tech, but their business is totally tech enabled, like the fintechs. Like even some of the big banks, they are doing a lot of tech, and they're enabled by local tech in Nigeria and Africa.
Excellent. And I suppose before I get Kazeem to dig in a little bit more, I picked up on something, which is it's organizations like farming, banks, etc., using tech. So, we are keen to also show that, tech by itself doesn't mean anything. So I'm glad you touched on the fact that our institutions are actually leveraging the latest technology out there, and maybe in some cases even innovating.
Exactly. There's a lot of innovation, especially in fintech. One thing that if you look at the history of IT in Nigeria, tech in Nigeria, the banking and finance industry have always been one of the people that drive us forward. And so they've always used it to advance their business.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that background, sir, Mr. Jide. And Samuel, here is what I also didn't tell you about Mr. Jide. Mr. Jide happened to be one of my very first computer tutor. This is way back. This is some 20 years ago now. So I still remember vividly, him teaching me on professional ethics,
So you're responsible for this output.
Yeah,
all right, Mr. Jide. So where do you see tech in Africa in the next 10, 15 years from now?
Well, I see, I want to have a bold vision and see tech as, at the same level as what we have in many parts of the world. Right now, we are still having some challenges in terms of infrastructural challenges and, time inclusion and things like that. But the tech availability is here. The potentials are here. So it's a question of now, that's where the policy comes in to try to create that enabling environment. But everything that is possible, to make tech really thrive and, do as well as you can find in any part of the world is already available in Nigeria. So what we now need to do is to build on what we have, the potential, so realize the potential. And I think that is possible. So that's what I say, 10, 15 years, we really need to know, because a lot of the initiatives that we have in Nigeria have been locally driven, not from abroad or anywhere. They have been locally driven, and it's a question of adding value, seeing the innovation spaces, and tapping into them and having an enabling environment that encourages entrepreneurs, innovators. Understand?
Oh, excellent. And I suppose before we dive into the other bit, I'm keen to expand on something. So similar to what Kazeem said, my family were dealing with computers in Ghana for a long time, and my dad's friend was actually from Nigeria. So I know, going way back to sort of like the 70s and 80s, the technology was there. And I understand about the infrastructure not being there. But the one thing that I want to get your view on as well is, I think people don't realize how deep the human capital is in terms of our knowledge of technology. Can you add any comments on the fact that we actually have programmers, etc., but people don't know about it?
We have a large retinue, armies of tech people in Nigeria. The only thing, because I'm an inside person, is I don't look at the distribution within the country. There is a bit of unevenness in terms of distribution, but when you talk of the talent, the capacity, capabilities, we have programmers, we have database people, even in emerging technologies, we are beginning to build up our skill sets there. So definitely we have all those kind of people at different levels in Nigeria.
Excellent. And I did have a question for you, but you've been answering my questions before I asked them. But I will try this one anyway. So I've seen things like, tech hubs and all kinds of meetups. Even with Kazeem, he does a show that's like Tech Talk on Wednesdays. So what would you say has been a catalyst for this energy in sort of like the drive and sharing technology, sharing knowledge, doing the things that we used to on the other side? What would you say personally has been a catalyst in Africa for this huge influx of innovation and the ways in which they're using tech?
Well, I'll say it's a combination of several things. But the most important thing, I think, has been the youth energy, the youth enthusiasm, the youth interest, the youth understanding that this can actually transform things. I mean, that youth interest in the IT, in tech. But like I said, it's a combination of several things, which even though the infrastructure is not where it should be, but that has helped a lot. The fact that we are able to do this kind of connection, it also translates to other people working in tech, doing different things in tech. They have opportunities of collaborating with people from anywhere in the world. They have opportunities of also putting up their stuff on the internet, not just a download-only mentality, but they too upload, they sell their apps, they upload their apps and things like that. So when all these things, the facilities are possible, and you have an energetic and interested young people who are young people, I mean, it's bound to happen.
Excellent.
Okay, Mr. Jide, I would also like to ask you this, which is about the African female in tech now. There still seems to be a lot of gender disparity when we talk about females in tech in Africa. Why do you think this is? Given your work experience in the tech space, given that you are also close to the tech policy makers now in Nigeria, why do you think this is, and what do you think we can do to encourage more females to participate in tech?
It's really an age-long problem, in the sense that it's something that has to do with social norms. Interestingly, from my studies, I've seen that it's not really something that is restricted to Africa or Nigeria, but it's still the same things in terms of the stereotypes. Thinking that certain professions are for men and some are for women, that kind of thing. So, and this thing starts from the home. From the home, there is you tell them you want to be a programmer, and they look at you in a strange way. Why do you want to be a programmer? Why can't you be a nurse, or why can't you be a doctor, or why can't you do a lawyer, or things like that? So that's a part of the problem, the stereotype. So even getting into education, the number for some of these courses that people have to do before they can come into the tech field might be the traditional, the formal education programs. You find out that at that stage, the number of girls, the number of women that are applying for those courses are much lower. So there's already a pipeline problem going in. So when the number that is even going in for the courses, even Kazeem, you have good examples. When you are taking your course with us, how many women were there at that course? I'm not sure there are even. So these are part of the problem. The stereotypes are there in the society and coming from the family, and then also even in the workplace, you find that some of the workplaces too are not gender sensitive. They don't appreciate the fact that women can also do some of these jobs, and they don't make certain concessions. I won't say them concessions, or certain understanding of the role of women in the whole society. I mean, a woman is pregnant, a man cannot be pregnant. So you have to understand that this person is delivering value. Well, I think that now we have remote working and things like that. Some of those problems will go away with time. As a policy person, what we advocate is more awareness of the fact that this is not a gender neutral field. It's not something that has to do with your gender. It has more to do with the ability to deliver value, irrespective of whether you're a man or a woman. And so we try to encourage role models. That's women who are already in the field, who are contributing either in the academia, in industry, different fields, get them to come out as role models, do some kind of mentoring, create programs where they can encourage young girls to come into this field. I don't think that it's just a field of nets. It's a very fun field. It's an exciting field that can transform lives.
Absolutely. And I suppose to build on that, because I do a lot of reading outside of technology, and I read a recent book called Rebel Ideas, and they talk about diversity in terms of mindset. So I agree with the inclusive side. What we would like to ask you is, we're looking to bring the true voices in. So if you know of any strong leaders, because they say people listen to the people that look like them, sound like them. So if you have any recommendations for us, just let Kazeem know, because we would like to hear their voices on the show as well.
I definitely do. It's one of the things that I do. I try to advocate for women in technology, girls in ICT. So I know quite a few of them, and I would recommend them to talk to them as well.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and for coming on the show with us today. Samuel, I don't know if you still have any question for Mr. Jide now, but I'm going to put you on the spot yourself, Samuel. So if you have any question for me, any additional question for Mr. Jide, you have to ask the question in an African language. So let's still be sure you're still African, Samuel.
In an African language. Well, I don't know if you speak Fancy, Mr. Jide, so maybe I have to use pidgin English. Right? If you don't get one tip, where we can say for this show where we do. Charlie, which one?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jide, again. So, Sam, any last words from you?
I would say thank you very much from me as well. And as the guest, we have to let you leave the parting message. I mean, if you had one tip for what we're trying to achieve, what would it be? What would be your message from Africa to the rest of the world? It's a big question. So please feel free to make it as small or as gentle or as large as you want it to be.
Okay. Yeah, I want to end by, first of all, thank you for this opportunity to, share some ideas with you. And I want to encourage you that it's a very good initiative that you have come out with. It's also timely because Africa is the continent that is really, has a lot up its sleeve. They keep on talking about African potential. Now is the time to realize that potential. And we are getting to that age where we are going to realize that potential. Believe me, I believe that Africa is going to stomp the world in the field of technology. That's my parting shot. And you are doing a good job at bringing that out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you very much, Samuel, and thank you, our guest on the show today, Mr. Jide Awe. So here is where we're going to draw the curtain on today's episode of the show. So do expect more from us. Expect to see more Africans on the show. Not even just Africans now, people, influencers in the industry, in the tech space. So until we meet again next time. So it's bye-bye from myself and Samuel.
And bye-bye from me too. So like you say, no wahala.
No wahala, Samuel.